Is CeeDee Lamb ready to be the Cowboys' #1 wide receiver?
Well, he has no choice. He got to be ready. And if anything I know about CeeDee Lamb, he's all about that limelight. So he will be ready. How effective will he be? It's to be seen. Look, let's get one thing clear. Like, just because you were productive when you were not the #1 guy and you were young and no one knew about you coming out your first year is one thing. Once the league kind of gets an idea of who you are and what you provide, but you still have another guy alongside of you taking that pressure off, that is commendable. Once it's just you against that top defender and that cornerback, and then that defensive coordinator scheming to take you out of the game because you are their #1 option, that's a completely different ball game. CeeDee Lamb has never experienced that. Regardless if Amari Cooper was on the field or off of the field with injury or not present because he didn't finish a game, CeeDee Lamb will be experiencing something that he has never experienced before in the National Football League, being the #1 guy. It garners a lot of attention, more than just the targets, more than just go get open and go be productive statistically. It is, can you assist the #2 guy, the #3 guy, our running game? Can you provide us with the lift that it's required of a #1 guy and alleviate some of the pressure off of others so that they can be the #2 and the #3 effectively the way you were when you had a #1 who was an effective #1. So that's what has to be seen. That's what's unknown right now. And yes, if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm giving him all the confidence in the world. And don't get me wrong, don't misunderstand me. CeeDee Lamb is a talented individual. He has a very high ceiling. But let's not forget how we thought the same thing about Juju Smith-Schuster. When he had Antonio Brown, it was, man, they can get rid of Antonio Brown. We don't need Antonio Brown. We got Juju. We got the Juju. Antonio Brown goes somewhere else, and all of a sudden, Juju's not a #1 guy. And we found that out the hard way. I'm not saying that CeeDee Lamb is Juju. I believe he has a greater ceiling, and he will exceed that. But to put this on him this soon in his career, we shall see. I think he will. I think he's up for the task for sure. But it's a tall order to ask when you're wearing that star alongside your helmet.
Oh, now it's the helmet. Oh, now it's the decal on the helmet. He better look out. Oh, that's a different kind of pressure. Look, Greg, I respect you fully because not only were you a receiver, but you were the top dog. Like, Greg Jennings was a monster out there. I know you feel like getting your Kanye on. Can I talk about again? Oh, I know you feel like that right now, talking this receiver stuff. But, boy, it's been a while since you played the way you talking right now. Because, boy, have you forgot who CeeDee Lamb is. CeeDee Lamb was the #1 wide receiver on a team that was the #1 offense in the NFL. I don't know much about logic, but maybe he's already ready for this role because he's already been in this role. Now, everyone's going to push back, but Amari Cooper was there. Was that Amari Cooper, really? Okay, 57 receiving yards per game, 4 catches a game last year. Fewest in any season with the Cowboys was that Amari Cooper. That CeeDee was the #1 receiver next to. Receiving yards declining every year the last 2 years as a Cowboy. That's who CeeDee Lamb was lined up next to. Oh, man, CeeDee Lamb is like, don't y'all ever compare me to no damn Juju Smith-Schuster. And I don't understand why people keep making this comparison. I know I played with Peerless Price, who played with Eric Mose. Eric Mose was our #1, Peerless Price was our #2. Peerless Price left, went to Atlanta, found out it was a little difficult, kind of like Calvin Ridley when Julio Jones left. I get it, y'all. Got to claim mental health then. Damn, I can't get off this press coverage. Mental health, I get it. But that's not CeeDee Lamb, y'all. CeeDee Lamb was the #17 overall pick compared to Juju, who was #62. Want to know why he was #62? Because people saw holes in Juju's game despite the spike in production next to Antonio Brown. You remember that. But let me not talk about other people. Let's talk about the #1 receiver in CeeDee Lamb. Tell me if these guys are #1 receivers in the league, y'all. Anybody? I need to see Slick's face up here, too. Let me shoot down his argument before he even gets started. Devontae Adams. I would say yeah. T.O., I don't even know why he on this list. I would say yeah. Cooper Kupp. I would say yeah. Dez Bryant. I would say yeah. DeAndre Hopkins. What? Yeah. And CeeDee Lamb, who just so happens in his first 2 seasons to be leading all of those names in receptions and receiving yards. Ooh, is he ready? Yes, young Jedi, you are ready. Y'all better not doubt CeeDee Lamb. He ain't like these other dudes that we listing up here.
Did he come in? Did all those guys come in as the number 1 receiver? Did all those guys come in the same trajectory with the same quarterbacks, with the same situation as CeeDee Lamb? Because that's the only way that I can make that comparison first 2 years and make it mean something in terms of what they did the rest of their careers. I agree with you, Marcellus. I'm not going to compare him to Juju because I think there was enough of us out there, and Greg, you probably were one of them. You had questions in terms of his ability to step into number 1 without Antonio Brown.
Come on.
So there's that. My greater question with CeeDee Lamb is not does he have the ability to be a number 1, but does the rest of that Cowboys team have the ability to make him a number 1? Does that, because we're not talking, you just made the comparison, Marcellus. We're not talking about him being the number 1 receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. By virtue of Amari Cooper leaving, he is now the number 1 receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, whether he or anybody else likes it or not. The question is, can Dak Prescott get him the ball the way he's going to need to get him the ball as the number 1 receiver without any distraction from Amari Cooper? Is Kellen Moore going to be designing plays that are going to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb without Amari Cooper as a distraction? All of that is the question I have. Less so CeeDee's physical ability. There's still the mental aspect that Greg's talking about, which is I can't have a game like Kansas City where Amari Cooper is out and we target you 4 times, you have 3 receptions for 14 yards. Like, that was an opportunity for him to eat and demonstrate that he can step right into that role and carry that responsibility. Again, you can only do as much as when the ball's thrown to you, and that wasn't clearly either part of the game plan or couldn't be executed. So that's my concern, is that do we have enough around CeeDee Lamb where he immediately steps into that and, to Greg's point, like takes some of that mental stress of having to carry that weight? Is he going to have the ancillary people helping him with that? That's where I question whether CeeDee Lamb is going to be the kind of number 1 receiver, Marcellus, that you compared him to. Not that he's going to be a number 1 receiver, but is he going to be the number 1 receiver?
Yeah, so I want to make something clear, Marcellus. So what I'm not at all saying that CeeDee Lamb is not a number 1 guy, and he doesn't have that mentality. He has that mentality. I know he has that mentality. What I want to stress is what Rick is talking about and alluding to. Number 1 receivers are expected to not only produce, they are expected to create production for others. Woo! What does that mean? It means when you lined up at the end, your expectation was to get those sacks, to create those sacks for other guys as well. Am I right? Can you do that? That is the difference between true number 1s. It's a lot of guys in this league that can produce numbers, but then you get them on the field by themselves with no assistance, no help. And then it's like, well, wait, where's that production? Where's the production of other guys? Well, it's because your production is not great enough to where other guys have alleviated pressure. That is a true number 1. When I played with Green Bay, we had, in my opinion, 3 number 1s. Yeah. Like, it was me, it was Drive. When I first got into the league, Donald Driver was our number 1 guy. I eliminated some of that pressure from him, but that didn't make me a number 1. When I became the number 1 guy, I still could look to my left and to my right, and I still saw Donald Driver. So, you know what I mean? And there was still this pressure that I did not have to carry. Now, CeeDee Lamb, when he was able to look to his left, he saw Amari Cooper. Whether his stats said he was the number one guy, or whether a defensive coordinator said, yeah, not yet. That was Amari Cooper. When you lined up as a DB, you were not going to line up on CeeDee Lamb because you respected who and what Amari Cooper brought to the table. Now what we're saying is CeeDee Lamb is that guy. He is not going to back down from it. He will not. And I believe that Dak Prescott has to still prove that he can be that guy without Amari Cooper, because he became that guy with Amari Cooper. So now he doesn't have Amari Cooper, and you're saying CeeDee Lamb is that guy. You're going to have to make him right, just like he's going to have to make you right.
Man, y'all right. I'm talking about right. Y'all are right. And I'm not wrong either. I'm right, too. It's so crazy about this argument because that's where we are. Hey, CD, you got to step up in this situation. But before you step up, it's kind of like in the combine training, you remember, Greg, when they talk about the vertical jump and you want to go reach and do your highest vertical jump. You know how you jump your highest? By applying the most force downward, pushing into the ground. You don't jump up, you push down and you get up. People don't know that. I want to just establish the floor for CeeDee Lamb right now before we talk about how high he's going to jump. In receptions per game last year, oh, CeeDee Lamb, why were you better than Jamar Chase? In average yards per catch, why were you better than Tyreek Hill? Already? Receiving and first downs and moving the sticks, why were you better than Debo, snatch your chain, Samuel? And 20-yard receptions or greater, why were you already better than Devontae, $2 million per play getting in Vegas Raiders, Adams? CD already somewhere special, y'all. I just want to remind you of that. But my last point is I've been here with CD in all seriousness. I've been here before. Bruce Smith was cut my contract year, and they looked at me like, it's you. Bruce had 7 sacks. I was like, y'all cutting people with 7 sacks? I'm in trouble because I ain't had 7 sacks yet in the league, right? And I go out there and I'm warming up in off season, and I'm sure people were out there speculating like we're doing right now, CD. I had a back surgery right in training camp. So now you know what they saying about me. Y'all let Bruce Smith go and then the guy replacing him got a back surgery? Y'all stupid. Finished that season with 10.5 sacks. Next year, had to go back and play, broke my foot, gave him 13. Now I'm thinking I'm on top of the world. Can I talk about it again? And I was feeling Kanye-ish, but I fell off. End of that story.